Hey everybody, welcome to Round the Twist, episode 40. It is May 19th, 2010. Actually, it's May 20th because I was nap attacked after I got back from knitting group. I think probably because I went out and mowed the lawn this afternoon. I got up early and my lawn, especially my backyard, was just a jungle. So I had to mow that down and it must have pooped me out because I came home from knitting group and I just was zonked. So I had about an hour and a half nap in there, and that's not what I normally do, but I feel good, ready to go. But let me get a drink of coffee just in case. It's chocolate blackberry this week, again from San Marco Coffee. But what's on the needles first? The Glynis sock, the second Glynis sock actually. Might not look any further than last week. It's not an illusion. It's not any further than last week. I've been tempted away by several other things, but I'm still loving it. I still want to knit on it, but yeah, you know that whole thing, you start something new, and then you have to work on the new thing, and the old thing just kind of gets laid to the side. I know you all know what that's like, so yeah, that's happened with Glynis. It will get done. It's just, it doesn't have a deadline like a couple of other things that I've got on the needles, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So let's put that away. That's still on the Volmisa, the De-Ouster 100% merino in De-Ouster. Wow, okay. More coffee for Karen. Sorry. Next up, another thing that has gotten worked on, but just barely. The Modern Baby blanket. It was only like a garter ridge and a half in. I think I said there was 2 garter ridges in last week. I'm up to like 6. Ooh, I'm shedding evidently. 6 garter ridges on this block 9 here on top. But yeah, I need to get this back into heavy TV watching rotation because seeing my neighbor who it's for, seeing her outside, like when I go out to get the mail or whatever, she's not getting any smaller. And that means the baby's coming and coming soon, so I gotta hurry up and get that done because it's been a really unseasonably cool spring here. I don't know if it has been anywhere else, but up here it has. And it's chilly. Like if I opened all the windows in my house, it gets down like low 60s, high 50s in the house at night. And well, that's wonderful for sleeping for me during the day. It's cold. This darn kid's going to freeze when he finally comes out. So I've got to get going on that. That's going to go back into heavy TV watching rotation. The dishcloths for speaking of the neighbors. I got the 4th one done. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 done. So I'm a third of the way through because I think 3 of my neighbors I want to give dishcloths to, and I want to give them like a set of 4. So I want to get a dozen dishcloths done. I'm a third of the way done. And then moving on to the, oh no, missed something. Sorry. My fling socks. There's the second one. First one, if you remember, is done. Second one, I did most of this. The meeting that I flipped my sleep schedule around for last week, the reason I was drinking tea last week instead of coffee, speaking of drink. Yeah, I got most of the patterning you see, I got that done at the meeting. Now, granted, yes, it was an all-day, like 7-hour meeting, but we were doing other stuff. I wasn't just knitting. But that's coming along. That's still, my purse knitting goes everywhere with me. And still getting work done, albeit slowly. Now for the thing that has been sucking my soul for the last week and a half. My shipwreck shawl. And, you know, I think I'm going to change the name of it because, yes, it's the shipwreck pattern from Spring Knitty of 2009, but it's like I feel compelled to work on it all the time. Like it's luring me in. So I think I'm going to call it my Siren song. Yeah, that little tribute to going back to college when we were all, every single college freshman, every single person actually that ever went to Luther College, far back as I know about, has had to read The Odyssey by Homer, which is a fantastic story, fantastic poem, epic poetry, great. It's when, as part of a college literature humanities course, which is what Paideia is, it's Greek, yet don't ask, that every single Luther freshman has to take, it kind of sucks the fun out of the story. I mean, it's monsters and battles and journeys, and it's a fabulous, wonderful, wonderful tale. And then you have to analyze the themes, and it's awful. It's just, I ended up hating the book, hating the story, because our teachers forced us to analyze it, and what does this mean and that mean? And I don't like to do that. I love to read for enjoyment. I really do. So, and I loved how the Sirens, how Odysseus forced all his men to stop up their ears and put wax in their ears so they could sail the ship past the Sirens that were trying to lure the ship onto the rocks by singing about all these wonderful things that they had, in case you don't know the story. But Odysseus himself wanted to hear the song because he'd heard so much about it, and so he had his men tie him to the mast so he could hear all these wonderful, glorious things that the Sirens were singing, trying to lure him in. But his men then weren't tempted, and they made it safely through. But that Siren song is my shipwreck shawl. So it's going to look like cat yak because, yes, it's bunched up on a needle. I moved it to a 40-inch. I could probably move it to a 60-inch to spread it out, but it's not going to happen. So there's kind of the center, and you can see the strawberry bit that I think I was on the strawberry bit last week. I have really motored through this. This is where all my knitting has gone to. And then next up, this is going to suck. Sorry, guys. Next up right here is that Bleeding Hearts pattern. And then, sorry, the Madeira section is a little bit bigger. The leaves, they look like seaweed to me. I love that. And I am on to the beaded net section. I'm still on the size 8s. Ooh, hang on, gonna lose stitches. Okay, we're safe. Whew, that was close. Oh, it just got stretched out a little bit. We're fine, we're fine. Yeah, there's a section of my beads. The, let's see if I can hold it still for you. The purple-lined amethyst, Aurora Borealis coated, the silver-lined amethyst, Aurora Borealis coated, and then the crystalline, or silver-lined crystal, Aurora Borealis coated. So they're fabulous. They're showing up just how I wanted to, just with some sparkle, and then the occasional, the silver ones occasionally just almost look like a dewdrop caught in a dirty net. I love that. But I've been doing nothing but that. As you can tell by how far I made it along. So yeah, I'm currently on the size 8s on row 108. So I have, I think, 7 more rows to go. Let me see. Yeah, 7 more rows to go on the size 8s, and then I'll switch up to 9s and keep going and on and so forth. I'm actually using Eureka's on Rav. Who had done the shipwreck shawl a while ago, came up with a wonderful way to randomize the beads. Because I'm OCD, just OCD enough, or I like stuff to be in order. I shouldn't say OCD, because I'm not actually OCD, but I like stuff to be in order enough that even if I tried to just, let's throw a bead in here, let's throw a bead in here, my mind would find some way to make it a pattern. I don't know why. I did it when I took my Iowa Test of Basic Skills when I was growing up, and it's like I liked the answers to zigzag down the page. If they didn't, because I knew the answer was wrong, if it zigzagged, that's fine, but it filled my little heart with glee when it zigzagged like that. So she had a beautiful method of using playing cards. And you take, and I actually had to buy a new set of playing cards because I didn't have any in the house. So say I just shuffled the deck, pull the first one off, okay, 4. Then you do that many yarn over, knit 2 togethers, and you place a bead. You move on. Ace is 1. All the face cards are, you subtract 10 from, so like a queen would be a 2. A king would be a 3. Jokers are 1s, so on and so forth. It's working fabulous. I love it. Can't tell you how many people I freaked out at my knitting group, like, are we playing card games or are we knitting? So that was fun. And since I've got more to tell you guys, I guess we'll continue this on in part 2.